Hey love, pardon my scraggly hair and unwashed face. I wasn't expecting on doing this tonight. I had everything set up. I've got my box right here and the camera right here. I just realized I don't have a cord for it because I quit putting it into my laptop. But tonight we will be starting Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats by T.S. Eliot. So let's start. Number one. Oh, I'm about to. The naming of cats. The naming of cats is a difficult matter. It isn't just one of your holiday games. You may think that at first I'm mad as a hatter when I tell you a cat must have 3 different names. First of all, there's a name that the family use daily, such as Peter, Augustus, Alonzo, or James. There's Victor, or Jonathan, George, or Bill Bailey. All of them sensible, everyday names. There are fancier names if you think they sound sweeter, for some of the gentlemen, some for the dames, such as Plato, Admetus, Electra, Demeter, but all of them sensible, everyday names. But I tell you, a cat needs a name that's particular, a name that's peculiar and more dignified. Else how can he keep up with his tail perpendicular, or spread out his whiskers, or cherish his pride? Of names of this kind I can give you a quorum, such as Munkustrap, Quaxo, Corgopat, such as Bombularina, or else Joliorum. Names that ever belong to more than one cat, but above all and beyond, there's still one name left over. Well, that is a name you will never guess. The name that no human research can discover, but the name cat knows himself, and will never confess. When you notice a cat in profound meditation, the reason I tell you is always the same. His mind is engaged in a rapt contemplation of the thought of his name. He is an ineffable, deep and inscrutable singular name. The Old Gumby Cat. I have a Gumby cat in mind. Her name is Jenny Anydots. Her coat is of the tabby kind, with tiger stripes and leopard spots. All day she sits upon the stair, or on the steps, or on the mat. She sits and sits and sits and sits. That's what makes her a Gumby cat. But when the day's hustle and bustle is done, then the Gumby cat's work is but hardly begun, and while all the family is in bed and asleep, she slips down the stairs to the basement to creep. She is deeply concerned with the ways of the mice. Their behavior is not good, and their manners not nice. So when she has got them lined up on the matting, she teaches them music, crocheting, and tatting. I have a Gumby cat in mind. Her name is Jenny Anydots. Her equal would be hard to find. She likes the warm and sunny spots. All day she sits behind the hearth, or in the sun, and on my hat. She sits and sits and sits and sits. That's what makes her a Gumby cat. But when the day's hustle and bustle is done, then the Gumby cat's work is but hardly begun, and she finds that the mice will not ever keep quiet. She is sure it is due to their irregular diet, and believing that nothing is done without trying, she sets straight to work with her baking and frying. She makes them a mouse cake of bread and dried peas, and a beautiful fry of lean bacon and cheese. I have a Gumby cat in mind. Her name is Jenny Anydots. The curtain cord she likes to wind and tie it into sailor knots. She sits upon the windowsill, or anything that's smooth and flat. She sits and sits and sits and sits. That's what makes her a Gumby cat. And when the day's hustle and bustle is done, then the Gumby cat's work is but hardly begun. She thinks of the cockroaches that just need employment to prevent them from idle and wanton destroyment. So she's formed from that lot of disorderly louts a troop of well-disciplined, helpful Boy Scouts, with a purpose in life and a good deed to do, and she's even created a Beatles tattoo. So for old Gumby cat, let us now give 3 cheers, on whom well-ordered households depend, it appears. Ooh, this will be the last one. Growl Tiger's Last Stand. Growl Tiger was a bravo cat who travelled on a barge. In fact, he was the toughest cat that ever roamed at large. From Gravesend up to Oxford he pursued his evil aims, rejoicing in his title, the Terror of the Thames. His manners and appearance did not calculate to please. His coat was torn and seedy, he was baggy at the knees. One ear was somewhat missing, no need to tell you why, and he scowled upon a hostile word from one foreboding eye. The cottagers of Rotherhithe knew something of his fame. At Hammersmith and Putney, people shuddered at his name. They would fortify the henhouse, lock up the silly goose. When the rumour rang around the shore, "Growl tiger's on the loose." Woe to the weak canary that fluttered from its cage. Woe to the pampered Pekingese that faced Growl tiger's rage. Woe to the bristly bandicoot that lurks on foreign ships, and woe to any cat with whom Growl tiger came to grips. But most of cats of foreign races hatred had been vowed. To cats of foreign names and race no quarter he allowed. The Persian and the Siamese regarded him with fear, because it was the Siamese that mauled his missing ear. Now on a peaceful summer night, all nature seemed at play. The tender moon was shining bright in a barge on Moseley that lay. All in the balmy moonlight it lay rocking on its side, and Growl tiger was disposed to show its sentimental side. His bucko mate, Grumbuskin, long since had disappeared, for to the bell at Hampton he had gone to wet his beard. And his bosom, Tumble Brutus, he too had stolen away. In the yard behind the lion he was prowling for his prey. In the forepeak of the vessel Growl tiger sat alone, concentrating his attention on the lady Grindlebone, and his raffish crew were sleeping in their barrels and their bunks, as the Siamese came creeping in their sampans and their junks. Growl tiger had no eye or ear Growl tiger had no ear or eye for aught but Grittlebone, and the lady seemed enraptured by his manly baritone. Disposed to relaxation and awaiting no surprise, but the moonlight shone reflected from 100 bright blue eyes. And closer still and closer the sampan circled round, and yet from all the enemy there was not heard a sound. The lovers sang the last duet in danger of their lives, for the foe was armed with toasting forks and cruel carving knives. Then Gilbert gave the signal to his fierce Mongolian horde. With a frightful burst of fireworks, the derogatory word for Chinese people, swarmed aboard. Abandoning their sampans and the pullaways and junks, they battened down the hatches on the crew within their bunks. Then Grindlebone she gave a screech, for she was badly scared. I am sorry to admit it, but she quickly disappeared. She probably escaped with ease. I'm sure she was not drowned, but a serried ring of flashing steel Growl tiger did surround. The ruthless foe pressed forward in stubborn rank on rank. Growl tiger, to his vast surprise, was forced to walk the plank. He who 100 victims had driven into that drop, at the end of all his crimes, he was forced to go kerflop. Oh, there was joy and whopping when the news flew through the land. At Maidenhead and Henley were they were dancing on the Strand. After roasted whole at Brentford and at Victoria Dock, and a day of celebration was commanded in Bangkok. And here he is falling. Woo! Oh, boop. And here he is, walking the plank. Alright, sweet pea. I hope you sleep well, keep calm, find a llama, carry on, and are feeling better come morning, and your nose gets better too. I'd kiss it better. Let me know if that gets to you. Yes. I hope you sleep very well, and I hope you have a great time on your bike in the morning. I love you dearly, Christy, and I'll talk to you soon. Good night. I forgot how to turn this off now. There we go. Oh. I love you, Christy. Good night.